Yo, what up? Back with more mind grapes, y'all. What up? All right, so on this episode of Mind Grapes, a few things got on my mind. First, I want to give a rest in peace to Sam Kieth, who's an amazing artist. I don't want to just pigeonhole him to being a comic book artist, creator, but he's an amazing creator, and being a comic book fan, he was one of those talents that really opened my eyes and my mind as to what not just comics, but just sequential art could be, and just like breaking the boundaries. His artwork, I feel, is always super striking. What we got here? So I first encountered Sam Kieth's work in Marvel Comics Presents back in the 90s. And that was back when Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri was the man, and rightfully so. Those guys are amazing. But Sam broke a lot of rules with, I guess, realistic rendering, if you could call it that, which is inside the superhero genre. But as you can see, like, he just kind of exaggerated a lot of things. It didn't really make sense sometimes. The poses he would put people in, or costumes, or like, why does Wolverine have like a cape of like just coiled fabric? Who knows? But it looks cool. And he was just like this force that came to comics, from my point of view, where he was undeniable. His style just resonated with people, whether it was anatomically correct or it looked like something that you could reference from comic books before. It wasn't, but it definitely evoked an emotion. And I think from his stint on Marvel Comics Presents, and I think he created this one of the villains for Wolverine called Cyber. He's like all adamantium, his little adamantium tips on his fingers. So that was like sort of the jumping off point for me with Sam Kieth's artwork, and it was very striking. I was a fan immediately. And then when he went over to Image and he started the Max, that really blew my mind, because the Max was one of those titles. You know what? Let's just take a look at it first before we talk about it. It actually got turned into a cartoon. So I don't want to play too much of the cartoon, this MTV stuff. But the Max was, as you can see, this really weird, surrealistic thing, starring this character here called the Max. And in the comic book, they, when it starts off, they don't give you any context as to what's really going on. You just start from the Max, and he's like in an alley, and he's supposed to be a superhero, but he's homeless and he doesn't really know where he come from. He's kind of got amnesia. And then sometimes he's like in this other world, but then sometimes he's in our reality. And you don't know if this is just a madman or if he's really a superhero from interdimensional like guy or whatever. So anyways, the Max, really cool. Really cool. Shout out once again, or not shout out to Sam Kieth for opening my eyes to what comic book art could be, but also rest in peace to really amazing creator. If you guys have checked out the Max, tell me how it impacted you, of like your thoughts. You hated it, you loved it in the comments. Now, on to my next thought, my next mind grape, the next grape on the bunch. Let's see. So recently, the kid Mero from Jesus and Mero, shout out to them. I love both of those guys' personalities. I know they're not together anymore, but as a New York native, I loved what they were doing together for years and how they put together the brand. it felt like the Beatles broke up when they broke up. But Akademiks recently made a comment about the kid Mero being hired by Hot 97, which I think makes sense. It's a really good fit. But Akademiks made a comment something like he's a DEI hire, which is weird because hip hop is mainly Black and Hispanic people's culture in New York. I don't know. So I don't know how he's a DEI hire in that sense. But Mero had a few things to say to him. I ain't gonna lie. Mero's definitely taking a little bit of Funk Master Flex's vocal tone and just sort of like, I'm gonna talk to you real. Pause. I'm gonna talk to you real nice. I'll talk to you in this quiet voice, close to the mic. Yeah, definitely getting shades of Funk Master Flex. Yeah, he's going in on Akademiks, but I mean, Akademiks is terrible. So it's not exactly what he's saying is unwarranted. I think that there's a history there, though. Um, Akademiks, he's making a fair point. I know he's coming at it with his Funk Master Flex sort of venom, but he's making a fair point that a lot of what Akademiks does in the animosity he has towards Mero and Jesus is because he wanted to be accepted. I think it's with Hot 97 as a whole too. I think old media, he'll put on the front now and act like, yeah, I don't care about old media. I'm getting money. I'm new media. We're better. But he wanted to be accepted by old media. He still wants to be accepted by the culture. And he doesn't get the love on the level of Adidas and Mero, or even like an Ebro or Rosenberg or Lawrence Styles. Like, people don't fuck with Akademiks because of the culture. They fuck with him because of gossip, and he's known to have the scoop first or early. But for people that don't care about that shit, like me, he's worthless. Like, you don't really add nothing. You're not really coming from a place of building the culture up or passion or love for the culture. The most I may have seen Akademiks in that space was on Everyday Struggle. Um, he seemed like when he was on Everyday Struggle, he was more a hip hop journalist than slinging gossip. Now it's just all slinging gossip and talking crazy to teenagers on the internet. If you know, you know. Yeah, if you NYC native, man, tell me how you feel about this, bro. Yeah, Mero seems like a good pick to me. I don't know what the fuck Akademiks is talking about. All right, so on to our next topic, which is the topic I guess is on everyone's mind. Let's go to old Ho. See what he got to say about battling. Bro, you gotta stop, bro. You gotta stop. I was in New York. You can't rewrite history. You motherfuckers with this revisionist history, bro. I was in New York when you and Nas was battling, bro. You could not be a Nas fan and a Jay-Z fan at the same time. I was, so it was difficult. This is what I'm saying to you. The same temperature that's happening now, you old motherfucker. Like, don't blame the internet for everything, bro. You got on the radio and disrespected the man baby mama. But somehow that don't matter. Now you like, oh, don't disrespect people. I'm gonna let him continue. Who are you married to again? It's too far, huh? Okay. I left condoms on your baby seat. But continue. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Look, the battle, you said yourself. This is one of the things about the battle that I do agree with. And Jay-Z said, it is the self-cleaning part of hip hop. It happens every few years, and I've lived long enough to see the cycle now. It cleanses the whole culture. The battle cleanses the whole culture because the battle resets the culture back to skill level. And then within that skill level, okay, if both participants have a decent amount of skill level, now we're going to see, because what they do is when they're insulting each other in a battle, and everybody talks about this, but they don't really talk about what the intent is. Like, yeah, the intent is to pull down the character of the other person, but in the context of hip hop culture, because there's rules. As much as Drake and all these motherfuckers try to act like there's not rules, there's rules in every culture. There's rules in our culture. There's rules in hip hop culture. The battle resets those rules. The battle makes the two MCs attack each other's character in the context of who is more hip hop. Are you abiding by the rules of our culture? Because I abide by the rules of our culture. I do this, I do that, I do X, I do Y, I do Z. Do you do that? And that's what happens. That's what happened to you, ho. And you got bodied. I was a Jay-Z fan. All the Nas guys were going crazy. You got bodied, bro. And the culture reset itself. The culture stopped worrying about you being a fucking CEO or president of Def Jam. Everybody said Nas won. So the culture won. If you had won, capitalism would have won. The same thing with Drake. So the battling is essential, and it's why our art form within the culture of hip hop is immortal, because it has a whole self-repairing system built in. Just quick, I want to note on this part too, because I've been going back and forth with some of my friends about this too. Oh, the internet, bro. You went and you disrespected people on the radio with diss songs. You went and made diss songs on classic albums that multi-platinum global smash albums, and you put diss songs on that went worldwide. You threw rappers up on the Summer Jam screen, which became a thing. That's like a fucking meme. That's a thing in hip hop. Even people who didn't see Prodigy on the Summer Jam screen know the reference. You have referenced yourself talking about that moment. Continue though, how it's different. Me and AI got more in common. Get it? More in common. I'm gonna stop it there. The dude is a snake oil salesman. 1 minute you saying, go ahead, have at it, have fun. The next minute you're saying, oh, I don't know if the culture needs the battle. Who are you to be the arbiter of what is hip hop and what isn't hip hop? I don't think any one singular person gets to do that. But if there was a council, I don't know if I'd have Jay-Z on the council. I don't know if, just based off his actions, I don't know the man personally, but based off his actions, occupy all streets, being the president of Def Jam and so many hip hop artists having a problem with you, I don't know if I put Jay-Z on a hip hop council to decide anything important. He's more of a capitalist than anything, and I'm not knocking him for that. I just don't think you can be a capitalist. I know you can't be a capitalist and an activist. That doesn't work. Don't let the comedians and entertainers fool y'all. A capitalist is trying to get some money, right? An activist is promoting something for an agenda that they believe in. But if you're an activist and you're also a capitalist, somebody cut off your bag, doesn't that make you rethink your agenda? So it's not possible. It's not possible. You have to be an activist. You can't be worried about making a buck. You're worried about making a difference. You're worried about affecting change. You guys let me know what you think about all of my Jay-Z hate in the comments. I'm sure I'm gonna get some. I used to be a fan. I'm a Brooklynite, native New Yorker. Like, I'm very critical of the words he says as being opposed to the actions.